Hey everyone! Today we're going to go over identifying notes and clapping this time. So the first two exercises we did last time looking at these, we just clapped it, doing the rhythms and focused on that. This time we're going to identify all of the note names just to kind of get familiar with doing that, and then we'll clap it out just to kind of further reinforce what we've already been learning with our rhythms and everything else. So let's get started. So you'll notice the first measure is actually 3 notes that we didn't go over. 2 of them are the same, one's different obviously. So I'm going to just tell you the answer so that we can kind of talk about it and we'll know what to do next time. So this is actually middle C, and as you can tell, they're exactly the same. So sometimes you'll see repeating notes that are in music, and that just happens. So these 2 notes, again, middle C, we will see this often. A lot of the times you'll see this in keyboarding. If you're taking any kind of piano class, they usually start with middle C, just so you're familiar with what it looks like. All right, now, this one is the letter D. I like to kind of think of it as like a teardrop. So like D for drop, or we call it drippy D sometimes, because we feel like it looks just like a little droplet underneath the music stuff. All right, now let's keep going. So going through each of the letter names here, I want to identify them. So we're on the first line, right? So the first thing you want to ask yourself is the note on a line or a space? If the note is on a line, there is a line going through it. If it's on a space, there are no lines going through it. So that's how you can tell the difference between lines and spaces, first looking at it. Now, the first line is the letter E, right? The second one, take a look, it's exactly the same. First line, letter E. We go up a step, right? So that's the first space. That would be letter F. We're just going up in step, okay? So we're gonna go up a step. So now we're on the second line. So we're gonna go through that. Then we have up a step to a space, which is the second space, which is A, right? Now we're gonna go over the next one. We're going down this time, and notice, check it out. Sometimes you can kind of get your answers by seeing notes right before it. Spells out gag. Kind of silly. All right, now let's keep going. So again, going back down a space. So we're on a space, the first space, which is F, right? Then we're gonna go down a step, which is E, first line, right? Again, you can kind of tell, you can reference other other letter names beforehand to make sure you got it right. Let's keep going. So first space, F. We're gonna go up a step to G on the second line. Now we're gonna go up, letter A, go down to a line, which is again G. 2 gags in one whole phrase. Lots of fun. All right, now we're gonna keep going. This one's F. Down a step to E. And there's that drippy D, right? Dripping underneath the staff. It's a silly way I remember, like I said. Up a step, E in the first line. First space, F. Second line, which is G, going up a step. Going up again here, so we have the second space, A. Down a step, G. We have 3 gags in one phrase, in one exercise. It's pretty hilarious. All right, now, let's keep going. Second space, A, right? Ooh, this one's new. Third line, right? You might notice the stem's down. You'll notice that after the third line in a staff, you'll see the stems come down. Reason being is so that if we have music above it, it won't crash into the other music and make it look confusing. Okay, now, this one is the third line. So we know E is the first line, G is the second line, B is the third line, right? So every good boy does fine. All right, now let's keep going. The last one is the third space, which is C, and then check it out, same note. There we go, right? So quick reminder, we've got, for the lines, we've got every, good, and then we have boy up here, and then it would keep going. We don't have any notes in this exercise, but there will be more eventually in the future. So does would be up here on the 4th line, and then F, fine, So every good boy does fine for the lines. And then in the spaces, I always say in the space, it spells face. So we would have, like, for example, F. We have F, A, and then C. We don't have any notes in this exercise, but if we had one in the fourth space, that would be E. Hopefully that makes sense. If this is confusing to you at any point and you're not sure how I got any of my answers, be sure to email me and I can do my best to help you through it. Okay, now what I want to do is clap this out, and then we're going to go to the second exercise and practice that one and do a little bit more practice to kind of get the hang of it, and hopefully it'll make a little more sense doing one more exercise. Okay, so let's clap it out. So I'm going to do a quick reminder. We have two notes that we're working with, and that is our half note, right, which is worth how many beats? If you said 2, you're right. All right, now what about the note right here, or all the rest of the notes? The rest are quarter notes, which is how many beats? 1. If you said 1, good job. All right, now, so what we're gonna do is clap it out. I'm gonna count to 4, and then I'm gonna have you clap with me, okay? So, ready? 1, 2, ready, and clap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully that wasn't too difficult for you to do. Again, if you have any questions on how I got any of my answers or how I got my rhythms or anything like that, just feel free to email me. I'll do my best to help you, okay? All right, now let's keep going. So I'm gonna do one more exercise for today, and then we'll be done. So let's take a look really quick. We have a couple new things to look at, right? So you'll notice the music looks a little different. At the top, we had 4/4. At the bottom here, we have a different time signature. Right now, we're not going to get into the details, but I'll tell you that the clapping's a little different. We talked about it before, but it's been a while, so just reviewing with you. All right, now, so we're going to talk about the letter names again, identifying them, and then we're going to clap them, and then be done with it. Okay, so let's start with the first note. So we're on the third space, right? So we want to think, is it a line or a space? So we know we don't have any lines through it, so it's a space. So we're on the third space. So we have in the space, it spells face. So let's do it real quick. So F, A, C, E. Okay, well, we know we don't have to go any farther, so we've got C. That's our answer. That's where we're starting, okay? Now this one's different, right? It's on a line. It's got a line going through it. So let's review real quick. So we have every good boy, so we know that's the answer, right? Does fine. Okay, so if we went any higher in the exercise, which we don't, we would know those are the letters. All right, let's keep going. So we're going down a step to the second space, which would be F for face, right? A, so we've got A, good. Same note, which is awesome. So we know the answer already, A. Down a step, we've got the second line, so every good, G. Up a step, again, you can kind of reference, oh yeah, that looks similar, right? You'll see this in music. They repeat notes often. All right, now, oh, check it out. We got another G. We got another gag in the exercise. All right, now let's keep going. So again, space. In the space, it spells face. So we have F, right? F-A-C-E in the space, F. Okay, keep going. Down a step to the first line. So we know E is the first one because we say every good boy does fine, right? Down a step, that silly phrase I said, the drippy D, right? Up a step, again, you'll notice, same note, right? E. You can kind of reference previous notes again to make sure if you got it right. Right now, again, you'll notice some patterns. So we've got the letter F. We're gonna go up a step to G. Got a line through it. This is on a space, A. G. 2 gags in this exercise. All right, let's keep going. F. Down a step. Down one more step, that drippy D we talked about, and then our friend middle C we see often. All right, now this one note is the only note that's different from all the other notes in the exercise that we're going to be clapping today, which is our dotted half note. We'll talk about that a little more in detail in the future, but for right now, just know that's worth 3 notes, if you don't already know that. All right, now, so we're going to clap through it, and I'm going to give you the feel of it counting it out before we actually clap it. So really quickly, 3/4 feels different from 4/4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's how it feels when we clap it. So I'm gonna go a little slower than that so we kind of have an idea. I'll count you off and then we'll do it together. So 1, 2, 3, ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How'd you do? If you did well and you followed along and aren't confused in any way, excellent. If there are any questions, again, if this is confusing, feel free to please email me and I'll try to help you the best I can. Alrighty, friends, thanks for going through this with me and practicing along. I hope you enjoyed this and learned some stuff, and I will see you next time.